Hello, stranger. I've just had a message from Yossi. He's there. I don't know if he's got trouble with the link, so we'll just keep an eye out for him in the little box when he enters the naughty room. But I'll keep an eye on the phone. Anyway, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm tired.
You would be. You've been gallivanting. Yeah. First of all, welcome to Open Minds. It's Sunday night. We have the lovely Yossi returning to the show tonight. Hopefully he can technically connect with us. We're just waiting to see. He's trying. And until Yossi comes, let's have a chat, Chris. What have you been up to?
Last night I went on a ghost hunt. I can't even pronounce it. Clongretney, I don't even know. Well, it's a workhouse in Wales. That's the easiest way of putting it. That was nice. Good evening. Good, interesting night. Yeah. Even
did you get scared?
Did a bit of scrying. I look like the devil. Got horns. So
well, you are the devil. I mean, come on. We all know you're the devil. Did you get scared?
No, there was moments I felt on edge. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I bet you did. Come on, Chris Shearer.
No, I wasn't too bad last night. It was good.
It wasn't too bad. Not like the time when Chris Fowler told us you got scared when you saw the red eyes then, no?
No, it wasn't that bad. No.
Oh, bless. We're still hanging on here, guys. I haven't got the message back. It's got the link. Hold your horses. Oh, don't you just love live chat shows? Click on click. I don't know what I'm talking about here.
I will just say hello to our viewers. I couldn't see Michelle Perman. She done so hello.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. As you can see, this is Open Minds, where we're live and anything goes on a live show. And me and Chris will just talk a load of
intellectual nonsense.
Intellectual nonsense. I like that, Chris. I like that. Well, Chris, you need to know that I've been gardening all day, okay? Back-breaking, groundwork. I've got a relationship going with the weeds in the garden. I pluck them out, throw them into the field, and they reappear. all day today, my back is killing me. As you do, nothing better to do. So as you can see, this intellectual nonsense we're chatting, we're just, Yossi, yes, he's in. Let him out of the naughty room. Audience, you'll be very glad to know me and Chris will stop talking nonsense. We now have the amazing, wonderful, lovely Yossi in the house, all the way from Israel. Good evening, Yossi.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you?
Well, it's very good. It's good to see you both here.
Lovely to have you back on the show. I'm just on my auto cue here. Hold on 1 second. Very professional I am. And here we go. Good evening, everybody. This is the serious interviewer here. Good evening, everybody. That's my posh voice. I got the giggles today. I'm just too happy. I saw Chris Shearer, and then that's it. Become happy. Yossi will be sharing his understanding of multidimensional consciousness and the relation to the development of our human understanding of reality and consciousness. I would not be able to repeat that again, Yossi. But welcome. So, how's everything in Israel? It's about 10 o'clock, isn't it? There?
It's quiet now. A little bit COVID around, but we're okay.
You're all good. You're all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do, Yossi, we're going to hand the show over to you. And we're really looking forward to the part that you spoke about with chats with me and others and in your book about consciousness, especially about your theory, your truth, which I think is really relevant in these times, about left brain consciousness, the different frequency, the right brain consciousness, and the possible merging. And if you want to bring in some superposition, a bit of quantum physics, all the better, Yossi, because I know you know it. So please explain to us your theory on this, please.
Okay. First of all of my theory came out from the contact that I had many years ago. And it seems that the visitors that contact me, and probably with many others, trying to help us realize our consciousness, realize our real wideness of consciousness. And this is the main thing that I understood from the contact. So to talk about our subject, our left and right brain, I will explain how do they did that to me. How did they try to explain me?
Okay.
Now, they didn't talk to me. All what they did is giving me the experience of contact with them and led me to struggle to understand what's going on. And the experience itself gave me the later the understanding. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to give this experience here now in the beginning. And I hope that the listeners going to understand or have the experience themselves before I start to talk and give words, because I believe that what they try to teach me or to tell me or to give me an experience was much more wider than what I understood, even 40 years later. So the main thing that connect to the thing that we're going to talk about the left and the right brain is that subject of our duality of consciousness itself. What they did is that they divided the contact with me to two phases. And by that, they tried to give me the experience of comparing these two ways of consciousness, and by that, understanding the two different experiences of one consciousness that we now experience it as inner consciousness or unconscious or dream consciousness, or the consciousness that we are not living day by day, but it is there.
Yeah.
So what they did in the beginning, they first came to my room when I was sleeping, and they probably helped me to go out of my body and experience the contact like that.
Okay.
In the beginning, out of my body.
Yeah.
So what they meant, or what they did by that, is that I'm going to have the experience of without the body in the beginning. And
So
to
do you
have,
mean without ego, without beliefs, without culture?
it's without many things that we think
Yeah.
is the only reality that we believe
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
experience every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the experience of being out of the body is truly different and very amazing,
Mm-hmm.
because in the seconds that I was out of my body, I was looking at my sleeping body on the bed, and it was totally different experience of surviving or to be.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is that you understand that you are not only this body. This body is not you. It's,
Mm-hmm.
you realize that you can be out of your body and look at your body, and you realize in the same instance that you are you can see without your eyes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you can feel without your body. You can hear without your body.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, this sense of watching my body sleeping without my eyes
Mm-hmm.
is totally different visual,
Yeah.
because you're not looking with the limits of your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize that you can look all around without your eyes. What it means that your eyes can go in the physical realm that you are looking out from your soul. It's a word soul, but this is the most
Okay. Mm-hmm.
closest word to say what was out of my body, that was
Yeah.
watching my body,
Mm-hmm.
my real me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the visual appearance for the soul is totally not limited. You can go inside the body. I could go inside my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I could go out of the wall from the other side. I could see my brother sleeping on the other side of
Mm-hmm.
on the other room, and I could see his eyes shut and his breathing and his calmness and his emotions and his stillness. And I
Mm-hmm.
could, totally different experiencing of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing is that you're not only free from the 3D world,
Mm-hmm.
you're free from the things that is connected to the 3D world that we are living now, like time.
Yeah.
It's not only that you can go anywhere in space and the space is not limited, you can go anywhere in time.
Mm-hmm.
So what you realize that yourself now that is out of the body is not limited by time.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually eternal thing. And you know it because you are not thinking from your brain. And it's totally different.
Yeah.
Now, when you're not thinking from your brain, the first thing that you feel is love. And
Yeah.
this is amazing. I mean, and that feeling of love, the basic feeling of love that you aware now, is like a meaning of connecting to the reality in a very different way.
Mm-hmm.
Because this love that we know as an emotion in our body is much more wider thing. It's like to be connected to all around you, and not only the 3D world that we see with our eyes. It seems that there are many white things there that we cannot see, and that feeling of love can connect you to that, because love is like empathy connection to what you see in reality. And this empathic connection gave you the ability or the chance to feel it from the inside. And what you see is that inside everything is love is the main thing that give it existence. Not only the body or the other people, but everything is like stand from that love that give them the existence itself. So in that situation, I saw them for the first time in the room when I was out of my body looking around, and I saw them standing there looking at me. 5 or 4 creatures standing, one near my body, concentrate on my head, and 3 or 4 others in the room standing and watching me. And till now, I don't know if they were surprised that I'm aware of them or not, or it was like I think now that they meant it to be like that, for me to have a chance to connect with them without my body, and then with that to understand what is really this consciousness that see them with the body.
Yeah.
So we are still out of the body, and when I look at them, it was very natural to see them. It was very, even with a lot of love and emotion, and like you meeting your best friend from childhood or family, and we had a amazing connection that I don't remember after I woke up what was the real connection. I cannot put it to words because I don't even remember. I just know the emotion of love and the humor that we have in that situation. They were like laughing, without moving the face.
Yeah.
Now, what I felt is that their body was not their real them.
Yeah.
It seems that I could realize that they have a body because they can use their consciousness to have a body if they want and be in this 3D physical world, and I can see them with or without my eyes. So when I was out of my body, I could really understood in a very simple understanding that this is a form that they got, and this form is half what they wanted to be and half my interpretation.
Yeah.
And it was a very good contact in that situation that I was out of my body. And then I realized that I'm going back to my body. I went back to my body and I woke up still with my bed to the wall. And in the instance that I woke up and opened my eyes, I thought that out-of-body experience was a dream.
Okay.
Because I never had an out-of-body experience. I was very young. I didn't read about it, nothing. And I think many people interpret out-of-body experience or something like that as a dream.
Yeah.
And it's natural and it's okay. But that was my first thought. What a weird dream I had with green creatures in the room, and I feel good with them. And we were laughing and we were connecting with something. And I saw my body and they were looking at my body. What a weird dream. And I remember the laugh I had. And then I heard the noise from the other side of the room. And I a little bit tense, and I turned around and I saw those same creatures that I saw in my out-of-body experience that I thought it's a dream.
Yeah.
And that was shocking. That was a real shock. The first instinct feeling was the most deepest fear that I had in my life.
Yeah.
Because the fear was that it can, because you realize in the same minute that or you got crazy and you thought that you wake up, but you're still dreaming. And I was, I turned around and sat on the bed with my eyes open and look at them. And the one that was standing near my bed in my out of body experience was, like standing here looking at me with his big black eyes. It was paralyzing from fear.
Yes.
Now the fear was the instinct reaction of the body itself.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do. I was afraid, or that I got crazy, or that I'm thinking that I'm wake up, but I'm still dreaming, and I didn't know what to do. But what I tried to do to survive this instance was to remember that good feeling that I had before in that out of body or dream, and to say to myself, listen, maybe the fear is only yours because a second ago it was okay and you had a good experience with them. Maybe look beyond the fear. And in the minute that I did that, I started to have the connection with them. And now with the body, with my eyes, with my brain. And it was totally different. Now, the realization was that the fear is really one of our instincts against something that we cannot understand, because I suddenly could not understand what's going on because I'm now in the body. Now the brain has a hard time to realize what it sees. And because they are not totally physical, it's much more confusing. Because you look at them and you say it's reality or not, it's my imagination or not, and it's confused you very much. And now what I had the chance to realize after I lower my fear is to start to have the connection with them with the brain. Now what I realize what is going on is that they are connected with each other now in this physical body that they have in a very natural way that they let me have too. What they did, they were totally open for me to be connected to their consciousness and to have their consciousness in mind. They didn't have to talk. They didn't have to, even with each other, they don't talk. They just have the other awareness. They all have their other awareness with them, and then they let me have their awareness. Now their awareness was, each one of them have his personal identity, personal awareness, personal emotions, personal thinking, but they were in a very natural way, open to each other with this old thinking and emotions and everything. They didn't try to hide nothing from each other. They enjoyed the togetherness of the existence and their consciousness. And this feeling is amazing. In that instance, I understood two things. We have the ability to do that with each other. We have the ability to connect to other consciousness because they touch as something very natural in me as a human. It was not especially in me. It was in me as a human. And they know that. And you know that when it happens. It's a very basic thing in a human being that he can be connected to others only by consciousness. He doesn't have to talk. It doesn't have to. And the second thing that you realize is that because we are not connected with our real self that can be connected with our consciousness, we are afraid from each other.
Yeah.
Because we are thinking that the other one, we don't know this, if he, now what he says is true or not. But we are not connected to his brain. He could lie to us. He maybe want to harm us. And you realize that if we had the ability to connect to each other, the emotion of being connected to the truth of the other one will be a feeling of love, because you are not afraid. And when you are not afraid, you don't try to hide nothing. You don't have any ego, because you don't have to use it for nothing. Just enjoy the connection. You enjoy what the other have now in their consciousness. And it's a very happy feeling. And I think that what they are trying to do is to help us going back to our natural existence. Probably is one of this natural ability is this way of connection that we now think we give it a word as telepathy, and we don't really believe it. Maybe it's a totally coincidence when the mother knows what is the pain of a baby. And we have the telepathy only when we have a great deep sympathy for the other one. And this is a clue for the way our consciousness can be connected to each other, if we're gonna have the ability to feel this empathy to each other. Okay, I talked a lot. Now maybe you.
No, we're riveted. Didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted you to flow because it's just amazing. Chris, I'm going to be a nice Gloria. Rare. Do you have a question first for Yossi on what he spoke about so far?
But I just found it fascinating. I was the same as you, just listening away.
Yeah,
But,
I'm like mine. It's mind brain. Okay, so
the left
would
and
I
the right
be?
brain.
Oh, you're going to ask one now, are you?
I'm going to ask one now. Yeah. The
Yeah,
left
go on
and
then.
right, the left and the right brain, Yossi. I know we talk about sometimes the dream state, don't we? When the right brain tries to work out what the left brain's thinking, and they interact with each other, and then you get a strange dream that has a play out, if you like, an experience in itself in the dream. In between all that, is that what we're working towards? Understanding the different experiences of each left and right to bring a balance.
Yes, it's going to that. Thank you for reminding me the main thing that we are talking about. We now realize that we have two sides of the brain, and the left side has a very distinct functions of dealing with our normal reality. The left brain is dealing with the rationality, with language, with borders, with science, with all the normal consciousness of us is like using the left brain to manage, to work, to do things, to create. Now the right brain is much more abstract. The right brain is like it's much connected to our subconscious. It's like our secret unconscious that is the real. I think that the right brain is the more close connection to our soul, and then our soul is like connected through the right brain to the left brain. Now we are now very concentrated on the left brain because we use it to live, and it's very healthy, that the left brain do what it does, and he is healthy, and is control is doing what he should do. But it seems that we we don't we don't know how to use our right brain good enough, because, for instance, all of the psychology that we are now learning about ourselves is trying to go to understand the subconscious with the left brain, I mean with the normal consciousness. Like when you try to understand your subconscious, you go to your dream and look what happened in your dream, and you see symbols and you see things that you can get, and with your left rational brain try to understand the story of what your right brain trying to tell you. So it seems that our right brain is the wiser one that can give us dreams or information, and all the downloads that we have, like inspiration and this kind of stuff, is when the left brain is connected to the right brain and have he like download things from the right brain that is connected to the oneness, to the soul that is connected to the oneness. So what those visitors did, in the out of body experience, you are almost only your right brain, because you're not using really your brain. You are out of your brain, but when you go back to your body and have the memory of being out of your body, you remember it through your left brain, because we are now realizing only through our left brain. All the things that we get from the right brain is amazing poems or pictures or downloads and things that we are standing and try to understand and give words to them. So the thing is that they try to make us realize is that the work that we can do with our consciousness and with our brain is to have more connection between the left and the right brain, to open the connection between the left and the right brain, and then we have the connection much more straight from our soul to our right brain to our left brain, that this is our reality that we live now. So it's not like the thinking that we have to shut down the left brain. It's that we have to develop our left brain to have the ability to be connected to the abstract right brain, and with that to be connected to the oneness. And then you can have what kind of downloads that you want to have, if it's a mathematical thing or it's a picture or a poem or working or mathematics or everything, because your right brain is much more open and have this ability to be connected to many possibilities. And this goes straight to the things that the science now understand about the superposition and the position. Because they found out that the real subparticle of the matter, and they connected to our brain, because our brain is, the physical brain is working with neurons, that they are actually have a magnetic influence on each other. And this magnetic influence is actually quantum action. of the real small particles of the electricity in our neurons. And this electricity is our thinking, is our emotions, is everything of our reality that we see in our eyes and with our eyes. So when science find out that the particles have two ways of possibility, one is a superposition, what it means that the particle can be everywhere. It means without time or certain place, like a cloud, or when the particle is now on a certain place in a certain time, is really what it's like our two ways of our brain. The left brain knows the exact time and place and have the measure of thing and have the beginning and the end. This is the left brain, what it does. But the right brain is a superposition of everything that we can download things that we want from the right brain. It's like the position downloads something from the superposition. If you want a song, if you want art or thinking or business, or doesn't matter what. It's like what you decide to do with your left brain can be chosen from your right brain that have all the possibility. He knows them, and you can choose from them.
Yeah.
And this possibility can be happened if we connect the left brain to the right brain, if we open the window much more wider.
You explained that beautifully. The whole theory's been explained. It flowed. It was elegant. It was in layman's language. That was just perfect. Your theory, which is also my truth too, but there you go.
Right.
That was wonderful. Chris, your question was a brilliant question, and you did remind Yossi. That's the question I was going to bring in that, but you did it first. Go, Chris.
Must be psychic.
You must be psychic. You should go and be a medium sometime. Chris, do you have another question? Go for it.
Well, no, I just found that really interesting because when they talk about law of attraction, how you manifest into your reality the experiences you want to have, or how you not control, because I think that's the wrong word, because if you put a control into it, you don't experience it, because you put a limitation on it. But when you were talking about connecting to the right and the left, I can't say the word, can't get the words out, analytical, the way that it works, it tries to work things out, the left side of the brain, is that right? Or that's the way I heard it. And the right is open to everything, basically, inspiration, you name it. And it brings a balance between the two. When you bring the balance between the two, your possibilities come in. So is that where the law of attraction, when they talk about it, is it similarities to, that's why we're trying to find that gap, if you like, between the two, to have a better experience, or an experience that we can choose with more wisely, or for everyone?
I think that we are doing it now, but we're not actually realizing that we're doing that, because when we do meditation, actually what we do, we lower our left brain enough to hear with that silence of the left brain to hear the right brain.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do. It's not that we are shutting down everything and then we just we make the left brain more calm and quiet, that it can download from the right brain. And we do it when we are like, many people now understand that he can have answers with his, when he go to sleep. So we can, before we go to sleep, we can think about something that we want to understand about, not, doesn't matter what, your life, your work, your art, your writing or something. We can go to sleep with that asking, with that question. And then when we woke up, in the first instance, when we woke up, we can have the answer, but we can use it only before we are not fully awake. Because when we're fully awake, the left brain controls us. So this is another example of using the connection between the left and the brain, the left and the right. When we wake up and we are still half dreaming, I heard that Deepak Chopra do that. He tells that most of his books were written like that. He had every morning that he woke up is half an hour still staring at the ceiling without moving a muscle, without moving even his eyelashes, and observe the information that he has, and then he in an instant started to write before he will forget it, and after a couple of minutes it's gone. So it's an art of using this connection, and I think that as more as we will do that, the connection going to be more natural to us. And in that, if we will develop this connection, things like telepathy are going to be much more easier for us, because it's going to influence our right brain to be open to the left brain, and telepathy is through the right brain, not the left brain. The left brain only gives words to what the connection of the right brain does.
Beautiful. Chris, go for it. Any more?
I don't know, I'm trying to think now.
Get out your left brain. Get out your left brain. Okay. Great questions, Chris. Really good questions. I'm going to come in and go a bit deeper on it, as I do. You were talking about like I'm fully aware that when you wake in the morning, like Deepak Chopra, and that can happen if you catch it there. But to the audience, for my truth, you can catch it at other times. The more that you practice going into that space, it can happen anytime in the day. You just go into the silence and you can do it that way. I needed to throw that out because I will have all the audience going, I need the toilet. I want to stay here. I want to get there. That everyone knows about, between the waking state. And some Homo sapiens, Deepak Chopra, that works perfectly for him. Absolutely perfectly. I think it was working for Einstein as well in the dream state, Einstein, Beethoven, but now it is possible that you can go into that state, into the dream state, the low frequency, in between deep sleep and a wakefulness when you go in, and you can work on that connect. Even if you're there for a nanosecond to start with, isn't it, Yossi? Just get in and just keep going back, and it will expand. And every time you're in there, you'll realize, I had an amazing idea. Oh, where did that come from? Wow. And that will be your evidence for it. Yossi, would you say, it's a beautiful analogy that these ETs have given you. Not only did they give you the understanding of the limited human consciousness, they actually allowed you to experience the oneness consciousness, the one. I am consciousness experiencing multiple things at all times. But you had an experiential knowing, as well as later it comes in the academic left brain intellectual. But would you say it was that because you had such a powerful experiential schooling, this is what you truly are? The first part, when you come out of the body, this is you, no fear, no judgment, natural, we're so connected. You could see everything at all places, all time, which is what we could call God consciousness, Christ consciousness, source, doesn't matter. And then they gave you the second experience in the physical body. The first instinct is fear, just fear, which is a natural response to the unknown. However, because you'd had the first one, you said, I've had this before, and you calmed the fear down. So what you did, you allowed the right brain consciousness to go into the left brain to calm it down, to make it still, so you could experience the same experience, but in the physical body. Am I correct? Have I interpreted that correctly?
Yes, yes, and I think many experiences, not all of them, of course, but many experiences. The first emotion of contact then is a really deep fear.
Absolutely.
And this is not because they are bad, because what happened when you are in a deep fear, your left brain try to interpret the reason for the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then the left brain that want to realize in a rational way why he is so afraid, he can give it a translation to what he see as something frightened. It can look like a monster.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the left brain have to have a form of something. It's not like the right brain that it's free, it doesn't have a form, it doesn't have to have a form to know. The left brain have to give a form to something. So I think this is the reason that there are many different kind of forms to many contactees with the visitors, that they say one say they look like that, and other ones say they look like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the differences between them, but I think that most of us confuse our rational translation of what they see in the contact with who they really are.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's why you can see two people like John Mack that was trying to understand this psychological connection, or to understand the connection with the visitor in a psychological way, and others that say that they are abducting people, and they are, and feel people can have really experience of abduction
Mm-hmm.
because of that fear. And John Mack talked about that. He said it probably can be that the psychological, I hope that I say a good English. I'm sorry that my
Your English is better than mine, Yossi. You're speaking a second language. Fair play to you. Me and Chris do not speak Hebrew. Is it Hebrew? We don't speak any of that. So please keep going. It's absolutely perfect, Yossi. Please don't stop.
So he talked about that very good and very in a very wise way in his books about abduction. You have a book called Abduction.
Yeah.
And I suggest to contactees to read his books, because he really understand that by the psychological understanding that we can relate to and have like suggestion understanding from his point of view.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware of John Mack, and I would recommend that, but I'm also going to recommend Yossi's book, because as you can tell, Yossi knows what he's talking about. I've got another question. I want to take you back, where you spoke about, which was really interesting, when you had an unknowing and awareness in the first experience that they were just consciousness and they didn't need to take on a material form. They chose to take it on for the 3D experience, so to speak. I haven't done what you said justice, but I just want it as a springboard to where I'm going. that actually can relate back to for us to have a better understanding or knowing about, when we say I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, I'm not the body, but I'm using the body to have the experience. Do you understand? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes.
That's a
Perfectly.
really good one to show you. That one is in itself.
Yeah, yeah. They gave me a push, to realize that.
Yeah.
I think I would never. I don't know if I could understood it from a book that I read that they talk
No.
about all the.
No.
But when you experience it, you really understand that, and it
Yeah.
can took years to explain it. Even for you in that situation is very simple. It is
Yeah.
very simple. It's very natural. It's more you than now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more
I'm with
reality
you.
than now.
Yeah.
It's
Could
more.
we say it's not a learning, it's not even a download, it's a knowing. It's a knowing.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
more than even a knowing.
You're
It's
more than that. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah.
because knowing is like understand what the cause and effect. It's like you know something. It's like you know when
Yeah.
it came from and where it goes. But
Yeah.
this one is to be with and have it. You just have it.
Yeah. You
You
are
don't,
it.
you don't
You
need
are
to
it.
understand it. You just have it.
Yeah. You are
And
it.
our
Exactly. Yeah.
left brain is developing by understanding and knowing things. And each thing that we know, we give a limit. Our understanding, our knowing, give it a limit. But in the real essence of that thing, it's a part of many, many things.
Hmm.
But our rationality that do the natural thing is like expert in doing, like showing you only this is the only. We have to understand what is that, and to because we can take it and use it. But your right brain see everything around it as see
Yeah.
it as a part of everything, and
Yeah.
then you can really have the experience of it, not
No, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. It's like I heard something once. I'm going to kill this, but and I don't know who it was. It was anyway, and it was when you take a child, a small child, and you take them to go and see a great big oak tree. If you keep quiet and the child looks at the tree, it's in awe and wonder and sees all things. As soon as you label and identify that a tree, it goes back to limited consciousness. The
yeah,
left brain will kick in. So I do, if that makes sense, I do
yeah,
understand what you're saying. So as a positive, I don't like that word no more, as an optimistic viewpoint, I'm changing my language here, to access, you can access what Yossi and millions of others are access. You can access this. This is the way forward. Yossi, when that happened to you and you had this understanding of who you are and what's going on, what was before we close tonight, what was the most major change in your physical life? Or was it gradual?
well, the first thing was to look for that again.
Yes.
It's like you had this amazing experience
Mm,
that see behind the wall,
mm,
and you cannot forget this taste of being so open and feeling this kind of love
mm,
that it's give you happiness. And from that day on, I was curious to understand
mm,
what it was and trying to have this experience again and to really understand what they wanted me to understand. The left brain is really working, and it's part of the things that they do. They really want to develop our right brain. I mean,
mm.
they know that what we are doing here is very important. They know that we are spirit beings that now have a experience in a physical body, and it's very important, and we should appreciate it, not
Wake up.
about that. We should appreciate it because we learn things with the body that when we are not with the body we could never learn. I cannot explain what, but it seems that this 3D reality of physical reality give a chance to the spirit to do something that he cannot do in that oneness realm in a way. I cannot, very complicated for my understanding too. But it seems that this life is a very important opportunity to develop something.
I agree.
Yes.
No, I agree. Sorry, I'm thinking of another question. I'm thinking, no, before we finish tonight, because Chris has just done some major questions, 2 major ones. Do you want to close on another one, Chris? No pressure.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, the left brain, because it brings in a perception on what the right brain is doing, and alters, because it doesn't really read it tries to read what the right brain is doing from what you've said and what I've understood, but the left brain then brings in perception. That brings diversity to the experiences that we have here. When we create a balance between the two, we'll have future selves. I'm trying to put this in words, to be honest. It came in and then it went out. Our future selves, what will happen to the left brain? Because our left brain has a lot of programming and reprogramming that has gone on through experiences of evolution. And I know time doesn't exist, but evolution over experience upon experience. And when we develop and understand that we can tune into our right brain more often than we do, and bring a balance, what will happen to the left brain from your perspective or your understanding? I think that's a relevant question that many don't look at, because we talk about manifestations and then the experiences and see things and from the future selves as spoken of, and from past selves and things like that come into play. I just wondered what your perception on that was.
Well, I think about that what's going to happen to the left brain is the real meaning of being us in this reality. I think it's all concentrated on that all we try to do with meditation, with connected to the oneness, it's in our consciousness. And in the body is developing the right brain to have the ability to do that, to be connected to the right brain. So what's going to happen, I think, to the left brain is that he's going to be developed in a way that he could get more vibrations of the right brain, and like if we talk in the language of vibration, it's going to use a higher vibration. Or if we talk in the neurologic words, it's going to be more effective or more developed, or he could have more possibility, our left brain. He's going to still be in that rational world, in that yes and no, black and white, but he gonna, like, he could, for our consciousness, he could bring the oneness into that reality that we live now. We're going to see the physical world, but we're going to see it
differently.
What did you say?
Differently.
It's good. What I think is that the story of heaven is that I mean, the story of heaven, it was the story of our consciousness it's a symbol of our consciousness in its full capacity. And they are living in a physical world. I don't know, maybe, but it seems like it's a physical world, but you are in heaven. And the difference of your consciousness when you are in heaven or not is only the fruit of good and bad, and this is the duality of the left brain, because the good and bad is the left brain, what it do. This is good, this is bad, this is beginning, this is the end, this is light, this is dark. And when they add the fruit, they fall to that world that the left brain is controlling it, and we develop it, and we have weapons, and we have science, and we have this left brain very, very strongly. But it's
so
we can use this development.
So you're saying bring heaven to earth? Are you saying bring heaven to earth?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very good analogy to use. It's a really good analogy.
Because when you go into your right brain, the space, if you like, or whichever terminology you give it, but it's a sense of euphoria, because nothing matters, and you're still, but you have that euphoric feeling, or some will refer to it as a love feeling. But on the left brain doesn't really understand what we can't really rationalize what love is, because love has so many different concepts and perceptions to it. So a sense of euphoria. So I would go with that theory. What you've just said, on my understanding, would make sense to me.
Yeah, it's a wonderful analogy. I so resonate with it. I coming from non-duality, I see it as the polarity, the dualistic 3D world, left brain, right brain, eventually becoming one, where the analytical left brain will merge, and it's the same thing that you've just said. And it's the beautiful diversity of how each individual human being experiences the same experience but differently, and articulates it and shares it differently. That makes it rich, and that makes it beautiful. And I know now Chris is going to hurry up and bring heaven to his earth, aren't you, Chris? You're going to go for it. As I said, guys, you can get into this space. It is really easy to get into this space. So go out there, Google, wherever you need to go. Link up with Yossi and his books. There's loads out there. Just give it a go. You don't know. Just try it. It may just change the way you look at things, and then the things you look at change. On that note, Yossi, that was awesome as normal.
Thank you.
Absolutely awesome. You articulated it so and simplified it that we can all understand, and truly and extremely grateful.
Thank
Chris,
you both very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well,
Chris, your questions were spot on. There you go.
Yes.
That was just brilliant. See, I shut up tonight. I let Chris lead with his questions.
I could see Yossi nearly fell off his chair at one point. He was a bit gobsmacked and didn't know how to take it, to be fair.
Yossi's used to me. We've had loads of conversation, and I'm just behaving tonight. I'm being calm and behaving because I knew, Yossi, I knew that what you were going to say tonight, I'm aware of what you were going to, I knew, okay? But I knew this would really interest Chris. I knew it. And that's why I wanted Chris to ask the questions. And they were fantastic, good quality questions, Chris. Yeah, you see. On that note, Yossi, thank you very much indeed. Now, I've had to listen to This Is Gloria, okay? There's no more professionalism, no more. I love my life too much. I kept thinking, who's on next week? Stay there, I'll be right back. I have no idea. I went down the rabbit hole with Yossi and I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on, I'm coming back. Who's on next week?
Alice went to the rabbit hole.
Do you know, I went down the rabbit hole with Yossi way back. Yossi got me stuck. Oh, hold on. Guys, aha. No, that's the wrong one.
Well, we'll let
Right.
Yossi go.
Hold on a second. Let me do me whatever Trevor's right. Just forget I just got confused there and I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, live. You can tell this is live. Thank you, Yossi. Next week we have returning to the show, Eric Mitchell. Yes. From the USA, and he's going to bring in the update to the documentary. He's, I think it's in the editing form, and it's a documentary of experiencers sharing their experience and to help. It's got like a backdrop how to help other experiencers to make contact with people that they can relate to their experiences. Even though we're out in the world that we can talk about contact, his film is a documentary, is amazing. I think I've seen a trailer. Shh, I shouldn't have said that. And he'll be with us next week at what time's he coming? It's been one of those weeks this week. 11 o'clock. Oh, an early one next week. We got an early one. 11 a.m. next week, UK time. We have Eric Mitchell. On that note, and my craziness, thank you, Yossi. You may go to the naughty room now, please. Off to the naughty room. Love you lots, Yossi. Love you lots.
Bye-bye.
And Chris, it's good night from me.
Good night from her.
Oh, the wrong way around. I am just so blown away with Yossi. I love listening to Yossi. It's just mind blowing. Right, let's do that again. Come on, let's get professional. No, let's not do professional. I don't know, no bloody idea. We'll see you guys all next week at 11 o'clock in the morning. And it's good night from Chris.
And it's good night from Gloria.
All right. Night, everybody. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye.